I guess that's awesome. Shorty, you fine and your body is awesome. Wanna roll? Awesome. Well, let's go. Awesome. Yeah. Hands in the skyline.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of NBA Inside Talk. I'm your host, Coty Davis. The 2014 NBA season is now upon us, and there's a lot to talk about. The Indiana Pacers and San Antonio Spurs hot start. Both the Brooklyn Nets and New York Knicks struggled to start off the season. The return of Russell Westbrook, and some surprising news regarding Kobe Bryant that he may be coming back sooner than expected. But we began this episode with breaking news coming out of Chicago, as their point guard Derrick Rose suffered another knee injury.
Opening night of the NBA marked the long and awaited return of former MVP Derrick Rose. Rose, who missed all of last season due to a torn ACL injury, made his debut against the two-time defending champion, the Miami Heat, and struggled a bit with only 12 points and 4 assists. In just 10 short games, Derrick Rose has shown some signs of rust, but also some signs that he is still better than ever. But unfortunately, against the Portland Trail Blazers, having arguably one of his best games since his return, Derrick Rose's right knee gave out, and Rose left in the third quarter and did not return.
Derrick Rose underwent an MRI, and the result was a torn meniscus. As of right now, Rose will be having knee surgery, and there is no timetable for his return. This is unfortunate news for Derrick Rose, his fans, Chicago Bulls fans, and even for the NBA. It's sad and very tough to see one of the NBA's best players to go out with 2 knee injuries. Derrick Rose, we are praying for you, and we are hoping for a speedy recovery, and we hope to see you back on the NBA floor soon, showing and proving why you are still one of the elite players in the NBA. Basketball in New York City is not pretty, and this comes to a surprise to many, especially when it comes to the Brooklyn Nets. As of right now, the Brooklyn Nets and New York Knicks have struggled to start off the season. For the Nets, this really comes to a surprise. A lot of people had the Knicks coming out of the East, going all the way to the NBA championship and even winning. And even for the New York Knicks, people had some good expectation for them, saying that they could be the 4th or 5th seed in the Eastern Conference and making a deep run in the playoffs. But as of right now, both the Brooklyn Nets and New York Knicks are far from their expectations.
New York City's basketball blues are at an all-time low, as both of their teams, the New York Knicks and Brooklyn Nets, struggle and stumble out of the gate for the 2014 NBA season. The New York Knicks are having one of their worst start in franchise history. Standing at a horrible 3-8, the Knicks find themselves tied in last place in the Atlantic Division. A lot of people feel that their all-star Carmelo Anthony do not have what it takes to lead his New York Knicks all the way to the NBA championship. And also, many people feel that Carmelo has given up on the Knicks and that in the offseason, he will leave and sign with a new team.
Hello, Brooklyn.
The Brooklyn Nets are far from exceeding expectations they came into the season with. Due to injuries to all-stars Brook Lopez and Darren Williams and lack of team chemistry with newcomers Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, the Brooklyn Nets are tied for last place in the Atlantic Division with their crosstown rivals, the New York Knicks, at 3-8. As for now, both teams, the New York Knicks and Brooklyn Nets, look like teams with no hope of championship aspirations.
It's surprising that both New York teams, both the Nets and the Knicks, have struggled to start off the season. For the Brooklyn Nets, it's surprising because many people felt that the Nets had what it takes to be top of the Eastern Conference when they added future Hall of Famers Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett. But unfortunately, injuries and lack of team chemistry, and even with a new coach, Jason Kidd, who haven't coached a game in his career, fell short of those expectations so far. But the Nets do have what it takes to turn things around and make a push for the NBA playoffs. But as for the Knicks, the same thing cannot be said for them. They are facing the same adversity they have been facing the last 2 seasons. With an injured Amari Stoudemire, lack of team chemistry, now they're faced with a new problem. Carmelo Anthony is playing on his last year in his contract, and many people expect Carmelo will leave in the offseason and sign with a new team. For both the Nets and the Brooklyn Nets, I personally do feel that they will turn things around, but as of right now, it do not look good for neither one of the teams. And we will be right back with NBA Inside Talk.
Follow NBA Inside Talk now on Twitter to get your latest news, stats, scores, and highlights from around the NBA.
Welcome back. Now I know that it is way too early to predict which team will make the NBA Finals, but as of right now, there are 4 teams that are standing out, proving why they're one of the best teams in the NBA already. The Indiana Pacers and the San Antonio Spurs. Both of them are tied for the best record in the NBA as of right now with 12-1. And behind them, surprisingly, is the Portland Trail Blazers. With Damian Lillard and LaMarcus Aldridge, the Trail Blazers are standing at a healthy 12-2. And also, the Los Angeles Clippers, the way Chris Paul is playing, has them at one of the top teams in the NBA. Out of these 4 teams, they're already making a strong case for the NBA Finals, proving why they are one of the top teams in the league.
For both teams, last season, the Indiana Pacers and the San Antonio Spurs saw their season ending in defeat in 7 games at the hands of the Miami Heat. After putting last season's disappointments behind them, both teams, the Spurs and the Pacers, are standing at the top of the league at 12-1, tied for the best record in the NBA.
A lot of competitive balance, at least in the early weeks of this season. Cream of the crop has been these Pacers.
The Pacers started the season winning their first 9 games of the year, setting a franchise record. Building off of the team's success of last year, Pacers forward David West stated that their championship aspiration has risen and it's either championship or bust for the Pacers.
With a chance to tie the greatest power forward to ever play.
Fresh off of their first NBA Finals loss to the Miami Heat in Game 7, the San Antonio Spurs, led by their Big Three, are once again proving that they are becoming better with age. In his 17th season, future Hall of Famer Tim Duncan claimed that losing in last year's NBA Finals motivates him to get back to the finals and reclaim his championship title.
Batum to the corner. Here's Babbitt. Back to Lillard. Lillard for the win.
Yes!
It had been a quiet half for Damian Lillard.
Arguably, the most surprising team of the NBA so far this season has to be the Portland Trail Blazers. Led by their all-star LaMarcus Aldridge and last year's Rookie of the Year Damian Lillard, the Blazers are having one of their best starts in franchise history, with the 3rd best record in the NBA, standing at 12-2. As for now, the Trail Blazers are proving that they are more than a prospect team and that they are one of the top young teams in the NBA.
I want to see it again. This could be as good as anyone we saw from Blake.
Oh. Absolutely. That's as good as anybody anywhere.
And Brandon Knight thinking, why did I try and jump for that one? Are you kidding me?
After a disappointing playoff run, which they lost in 6 games to the Memphis Grizzlies, the Los Angeles Clippers, along with new coach Doc Rivers, are once again one of the most exciting teams to watch in the NBA. And what player has been more exciting to watch than their point guard, Chris Paul? In their first 13 games of the NBA season, Chris Paul has broke the record for most double-double to start off the season with, which was previously held by legendary Laker point guard Magic Johnson. And also, Blake Griffin is having a tremendous start to start off this season, averaging 22 points per game and 10 rebounds per game. The Clippers are fighting to be one of the best teams in the NBA, proving they have what it takes to bring home the NBA championship.
In the early part of the season, The Pacers, the Spurs, the Trailblazers, and the Clippers are enjoying early season success. As of right now, it is too early to say which team is the best team in the NBA, but it will be fun to see which of these 14 could continue its dominance throughout the NBA as the season continues. After missing just about all of the Thunder's playoff run, point guard Russell Westbrook made his season debut against the Phoenix Suns, scoring 21 points and having 7 assists. This came to as a shock towards a lot of people because many people felt that Russell Westbrook was going to miss half of the NBA season. But Russell Westbrook proved all the doubters wrong and came back faster than anyone would ever have expected. As of right now, Russell Westbrook has the best recovery time when it comes to injuries. But there's a guy in Los Angeles who goes by the name of Kobe Bryant, who has been cleared to practice, and pretty soon, Bryant will be making his return to the NBA.
Bryant again going to work, falls down. Again, he's struggling. He's going to stay down there for a bit.
Trying to massage that left ankle a little bit.
April 12th, 2013 was the last time we seen future Hall of Famer Kobe Bryant take the NBA court. In a win against the Golden State Warriors, Bryant suffered a devastating Achilles injury and the next day had season-ending surgery. Now, 7 months later, Kobe Bryant has been cleared to practice with the Los Angeles Lakers, and his return to the NBA court is coming sooner than many expected.
Even at age 35, I still do believe that Kobe Bryant is still the top player in the NBA. Last year, Bryant averaged 27 points per game, and if there's anybody who could come off a devastating injury like an Achilles tear, I personally do feel that that person is Kobe Bryant. I cannot wait to see the return for Bryant, and I know one thing for sure. Bryant will continue to prove to people that he is still one of the elite players in the NBA. Before we go, I have an update. Derrick Rose suffered a torn meniscus in his right knee against the Portland Trail Blazers. And unfortunately, after having surgery, Derrick Rose's season is over. This is sad and devastating news to everyone, especially for Derrick Rose. Derrick, if you run across this video some kind of strange and weird kind of way, I just want to personally tell you I'm rooting for you. Many people are rooting for you. And I know that you will continue to be one of the elite players in the NBA. And for Derrick Rose fans around the world, I understand your pain. I watched my favorite player, Tracy McGrady, knee injuries take him from one of the top players in the NBA all the way down to his retirement. So Rose, we rooting for you, and all of the basketball fans around the world, we hope you get healthy, and I know we will see you next season. Thank you for watching another edition of NBA Inside Talk. I'm your host, Coty Davis, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you, God bless, and good night.
Cause I feel so awesome. How you feel? Awesome. I guess that's awesome. Shorty, you fine and your body is awesome. Wanna roll? Awesome. Well, let's go. Awesome. Yeah. Hands in the skyline.